I know I'm a bit late to the party, to put it mildly, but I finally watched One Piece live-action adaptation. It was also my first introduction to this world, because I have never read the manga or watched the anime. I only knew some very vague and minor things about this universe beforehand. I'll be honest, I went into this not expecting much, despite the little bits of praise I'd heard about the live action. And oh boy was I wrong. Let's just say, I think I have a new obsession. The only reason I am not starting the manga or the anime is, well, because both are insanely long, and I know if I pick either of them up, I won't be able to stop until I'm finished binging the story. I can't talk about how the live action measures up to its predecessors, so this review will be solely about the Netflix show as seen through the eyes of someone completely new. What I fell in love with the most were the characters. Somehow, all of them work on their own and, more importantly, together. The cast had incredible chemistry and, as a viewer, I could easily believe they had found a family in each other. The heart of the crew, obviously, was Luffy. He is simple, and as much as I like to yap about complicated characters and even more complicated protagonists, his simplicity is what makes him a beautiful character. Not just beautiful, but wise. In his own words, I don't do complicated. Quite often, the real world feels like it's on fire, like nothing makes sense anymore. So, perhaps, the world desperately needs some of that simplicity. Follow your dreams, don't get in the way of the dreams of others, and be good. Be good. That was the first line in the show that made me tear up. When Shanks was saying goodbye to Luffy, he didn't wish him good luck. He didn't tell him to be great. He merely told him to be good. And isn't that the most important thing? In this show, all the characters, both the main ones and the side characters with very limited appearances, were very different from each other, with their own unique personalities, stories, motivations, and goals. But those differences were never a problem. But treating others horribly was. Another prevalent theme in this show that resonated with me deeply was freedom. I just think it's a waste of time for you to be hanging out here when there's something you want out there. A lot of these characters, just like people in real life do, were in places where they felt stuck and unhappy, and a lot of the times they were in those situations by their own doing. For some, like Sanji, all what was needed was a little push to finally make the decision to leave the place where he wasn't happy and finally try to do what he'd always wanted. For others, like Nami, the situation was much more complicated, and solving that required other people refusing to give up on you, and started with making a decision to ask for help, which is just as difficult. What I'm trying to say is that this show and these characters felt inspiring. We often feel stuck and keep giving excuses why we should stay stuck. And yes, trying to change, trying to follow your crazy dreams is scary, it's risky, it can even feel selfish, but, in the story's own words, if the path to what you want seems too easy, then you're on the wrong path. Obviously, this show had a lot of other great things about it. It was colorful, fun, adventurous. It never got boring to watch, and while I personally had some gripes with some individual moments, lines, scenes, or action choreography, where it felt either too silly or too over the top even for my taste, the show overall looked really amazing and the acting was good too. This story isn't about realism. It's about a feeling of magic, of wonder, of beauty, and it absolutely delivered all these things. I hate rating stuff, so let's just say I give it a great out of 10. Go watch it if you haven't done so already, which is doubtful. For the rest of the fans, I can proudly announce I am joining your crew as we wait for the second season. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.